Why hello there, Riri here, and I'd like to welcome you to the Gato Rankings channel. Here we make fun teams consisting of the most random Pokemon. This past week I've been working hard on our next team. I started testing them out today in free play mode and I've got some exciting battles to show you. It's so hard not to give any spoilers. Getting back to today though, it is our last day of PvP with my Omega Ruby playthrough team. Jumping right in, we're gonna battle a player named Brix. Now Brix also has a VGC style team. Absolutely love battling against VGC style teams. They usually have a lot of synergy and they're really fun to play against. Sending out Smeargle there and Greninja. Of course Smeargle can learn any move in the game using Sketch. Spiky Shield a bit better than Protect in my opinion. Of course if you're gonna make physical contact with it you will be taking a bit of damage. He's got the gunk shot that he's trying to do there from his Greninja. RNG not on his side, he misses. I'm able to set up the Tailwind, making sure both my Pokemon can now outspeed him. He doesn't want Greninja to be taking any unnecessary damage and he goes for the Protect. I personally want to get rid of the Smeargle, knowing that if I leave it around for too long, it's really going to disarm my entire team. Shiftry going for the Rock Slide, but Smeargle manages to avoid it and does a Circle Throw, not really wanting his Greninja here to be battling the Shiftry, and is pulling into the battle Ninetales. Now, Ninetales is really bulky, perhaps it can take an attack here from the Greninja. I know that I'm behind the Tailwind and I can outspeed here. We're gonna go for the Air Slash, hoping to get the flinch chance here, doing a major amount of damage. Heat Wave of course going to be doing normal damage to that Greninja because it's changed its type using Protein. Going for a Gunk Shot there. RNG really not in his favor, he misses again. I'm able to protect here the Ninetales. Going here after his Smeargle, really not wanting any of the shenanigans to start hampering my team. Able to take it out here with a Scald, pulling out my opponent's third Pokemon. Brings out Cresselia. Having lost that Tailwind, I really know Ninetales should not be facing this Greninja head on. I go for the switch, expecting that he's going to be sending a water move my way. Shiftry comes in, Hydro Pump coming in. It's going to do a massive amount of damage because Greninja's special attack stat is so high, but it's holding that life orb. It was probably on 1 HP, so it's taking itself out there. Of course, Cresselia being very defensive, very amazing support Pokemon. I get to set up my Tailwind again to make sure I can outspeed there. Icy Wind coming in to reduce the speed on both my Pokemon. Shiftry manages to hang on with just 3 HP. My opponent's going to bring in his last Pokemon now. He hasn't Mega evolved yet, so we know he's going to be bringing his Mega. And in this case, it's going to be Kangaskhan. Now, I know Kangaskhan should usually carry the move Fake Out. I'm behind the Tailwind still, confident that I'm outspeeding. I want to Fake Out him first so that I can work on getting a burn onto his Pokemon. Of course, that is the best way, probably in my opinion, to slow down a Kangaskhan. I'm able to get the Fake Out off, going for a Scald, getting a decent amount of damage here. Unfortunately, not getting the burn. He flinches. Icy Wind coming in again, enough to take out my Shiftry, really slowing down Swanna here. But being behind the Tailwind, being a really fast Pokemon, I'm confident that it's still fast enough to outspeed his team at this point. Bringing out Ninetales, of course, wanting to get that Will-O-Wisp on there. I really need to start working on this Kangaskhan because I've got Golduck at the back who won't really be able to fight it as well. Golduck, of course, will be enough to battle the Cresselia. He's protecting his Kangaskhan there. The Will-O-Wisp not able to connect. I'm protecting my Swanna. The Toxic not able to connect. Will-O-Wisp going on to the Kangaskhan now. Finally able to bring down that attack stat, halving it. He's gonna go here for a power-up punch, wanting to bring his attack stat more or less back to what it was. But it's going after Swanna, and Swanna is a flying type Pokemon. Of course, it's able to resist power-up punch a bit, because power-up punch is of course a fighting type move. It's going for the Toxic there, getting it down onto the Swanna. This means Swanna's time is sort of limited at this point. Of course, Toxic doubles the amount of damage that it does each turn, so unless you can end the battle quickly, you're gonna suffer a slow and painful death. Now, Kangaskhan really isn't the problem anymore at this point. It's gonna go down to the burn damage. I don't want Swanna to be taking any unnecessary damage here. I'm going for Protect, expecting that it's gonna go after it, but it goes after Ninetales. Does a massive amount of damage to Ninetales, but is able to still hang on. Goes for the Will-O-Wisp, wanting to start working on Cresselia here. Of course, there's nothing left for Kangaskhan to do anymore. Burn is going to take effect. It does 1/8 of the damage each turn. So Kangaskhan's life is pretty much over at this point. Swanna's speed going down yet again with that Icy Wind. Ninetales still hanging on there. And the poison damage really starting to work here on the Swanna. I know Swanna probably won't make it much longer because Cresselia is just so bulky, it's able to stall for so long. However, I'm still confident knowing that I've got Golduck at the back. I don't want Ninetales to get Toxic on it because I think I can still use that, carrying the move Hex, which is a 65 base power ghost move. Get to set up my Tailwind again. And Cresselia goes for another Icy Wind. I don't want it to be able to outspeed both my Pokemon. That would put it in a bit of a better position, able to respond to my moves much easier. Ninetales able to restore a bit of HP there, getting a little healthier. Of course, the Cresselia doesn't carry any powerful offensive moves, so I know that this is a battle of the stalling. Cresselia going for a Protect here, really wanting that Toxic damage to tick down. I was going for Air Slash, wanting it to flinch. I was going for Hex as well. But of course he was protecting, no damage is going to be dealt at this turn. Swanna is going to be taking a much bigger amount of damage here due to the poison. It really won't be able to help out much longer. Cresselia, of course, taking a bit of burn damage there. Once again, I don't want Toxic to go on to Ninetales. Gonna go for a Protect here. Going for an Air Slash, hoping to get the flinch off here. RNG really in my favor, getting the flinch as well as a critical hit. However, even without that, knowing Golduck is the one at the back, I don't think this made such a major difference. Cresselia recovering a little bit there with the leftovers. And Swanna goes down here to the Toxic damage. This gives me an opportunity to bring in my last Pokemon, Golduck. Cresselia pretty much in KO range here for Golduck with its high special attack, carrying the move Signal Beam and having the choice specs. This battle is pretty much over. It really was a lot of fun. I don't think moves like Signal Beam exist anymore in Sword and Shield, so you'll have to think of a different strategy if you wanted to do something similar. Jumping into the next battle immediately, we're gonna find Almu. Now, Almu was also a passerby, so we were gonna go for a 6v6 battle here. She had 3 legendaries and she had 3 of the evolutions. Now, I'm bringing Shiftry and Swanna, of course, wanting to set up my Tailwind as fast as possible. Legendaries like those, you have to decide which one is the most dangerous to you. I didn't really want Yveltal to start attacking immediately, knowing that Shiftry probably couldn't deal with it too well. So I wanted to go for the fake out there. Mewtwo, of course, going ahead here, Mega Evolving to Mega Mewtwo Y. Special attacking one with not really much defensive stat. Bringing out my Tailwind here. Getting set up to start attacking right away. Aura Spear, I think she meant to go for the Shiftry here. Or she was trying to break a sash and she was going to take out Shiftry with the Yveltal. Of course, that's not what happened in this case. I want to start trying to get a burn on that Mewtwo to slow it down. Rock Slide connecting with both Pokemon, not doing as much damage as I would have expected that it would do. And Mewtwo starting to set up here for any physical attackers that I might have in my team. Now that's a little bit unfortunate because I don't really have physical attackers apart from Donphan. Oblivion Wing, more than enough to absolutely obliterate Shiftry here. This lets me know immediately that Yveltal really cannot be left alive. It's way too powerful in terms of attack here. Bringing out Pelipper, knowing that it's carrying the Ice Beam that will help me to break down this Yveltal. Going for a Scald here, unfortunately not getting the burn. Doing major damage here with the Ice Beam. And Mewtwo is gonna go ahead here, expecting perhaps to have got an attack from my Pokemon. It's going to go ahead and recover here. Yveltal is going to go ahead doing Phantom Force, which means it's going to be immune for one turn, and then it's going to do massive damage. Of course, Phantom Force also breaks through Protect, which was a massive failure on my side to protect both Pokemon. However, it did protect them against the damage coming in from the Mewtwo, but of course completely useless to avoid the damage from the Yveltal. Phantom Force going to connect through that Protect, doing quite a decent amount of damage there to Pelipper. My Tailwind's out there, so I need to get that set up immediately again. And I know I need to keep focusing on this Yveltal. Gonna go for another Ice Beam. My opponent, of course, doing another Barrier to keep setting up there her Mewtwo, which is a little bit unfortunate, to be honest. Oblivion Wing coming through, connecting here with Swanna, leaving it on literally 4 HP. It's clinging to life there, but Yveltal here in range of an Ice Beam knockout. My opponent's going to be bringing in her third Pokemon here. Unfortunately, she's using Zygarde, which is really weak to ice, so it really won't be able to survive here. Don't really think that switch was the best option, to be honest. I'm free here to focus on trying to get another burn onto Mewtwo. Luckily, I do get it. Ice Beam connecting with Zygarde enough to absolutely annihilate it, being 4 times weak to ice, being Ground and Dragon. Mewtwo here free to get the knockout, and any one of the Pokemon is gonna go for Swanna, not really wanting me to have that option to set up any more Tailwinds. Bringing out Golduck, knowing that it will be able to handle that Mewtwo quite easily. He's gonna go ahead and bring out the Sylveon here. Very good special attacker, especially if it carries Hyper Voice with Pixelate. Baby Doll Ice coming onto Golduck, expecting that Golduck is a physical attacker. Unfortunately, it is a special attacker and is able to take out Mewtwo there with the Signal Beam. Mewtwo goes down, and that setup was a little bit wasted. I did feel a little bit bad about that. Scald connecting here with the Sylveon, hoping to get that burn off. Unfortunately, that does not happen in this case. Glaceon coming in here, very good special attacker as well. Don't want Golduck to go down for no reason. Of course, it is choice spec, it can't really change, but attack is using at the moment. I know that Ninetales will be able to take a Blizzard or a Hyper Voice, resisting both Ice and Fairy type moves. Luckily for me, I'm able to get the burn onto the Glaceon there. Glaceon going for the Blizzard is going to be more than enough to take out Pelipper, but of course Ninetales still pretty healthy there, resisting that Ice type attack. Sylveon coming in here with the Draining Keys, also able to resist that, being very healthy and in a good position at this point. I'm gonna go ahead here and switch into my Donphan. I've also lost the Tailwind here. A little bit fearful that Donphan won't be able to outspeed, so I'm gonna go ahead and protect her, knowing that it won't be able to survive a Hyper Voice and a Blizzard. Will-O-Wisps going on to the Sylveon here just to start taking away some damage at both my opponents. Glaceon does come with the Blizzard. Donphan is luckily protecting here. Not gonna do so much damage to the Ninetales. It's able to survive really well there. Another Dazzling Beam coming in. Of course, also not going to do so much damage against Ninetales, who resists that. Now I'm free to go for a Heat Wave to try and get rid of the Glaceon there. Ninetales, of course, recovering a little bit of HP here with the leftovers. And luckily for me, Ninetales does outspeed both Glaceon and Sylveon in this particular case. Heat Wave connecting with both Pokemon, obviously more than enough to take out the Glaceon. This gives a lot of freedom for Donphan to start chipping away or annihilate Sylveon there with a Gunk Shot. Sylveon will not be able to survive, and my opponent will be bringing out his last Pokemon. The last Pokemon that my opponent brings in is going to be Umbreon. Umbreon, of course, a really good staller. I didn't want to use Gunk Shot here and get some poison off and then get poison in returns. I rather decided to go for the Will-O-Wisp here instead. Of course, If he's going to have Synchronize and he's going to try and burn Ninetales, that of course won't do anything because Ninetales cannot be burned. My opponent used Trump card, which I had to go actually and look up. I haven't really seen it being used competitively, to be honest. And it's not a move that I would personally put onto my Umbreon. Here to start just chipping away at damage, going for Heat Wave here. Also going for a Gunshot. I really don't want to use Earthquake and damage my own Pokemon here. Doing massive amounts of damage here. He's going to go for a Dark Pulse, of course. Does not really have such high attacks. That Ninetales barely taking any damage here, which puts Umbreon for me in KO range. Very confident here that this battle is over. I really enjoyed this battle as well. Of course, you guys know I'm completely obsessed with these Pokemon battles because it's such a strategy-based game. Absolutely love that. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video as much as I enjoyed making it. Just as a side note, I do not upload any videos unless I have at least a 50% win rate with the team, and with this one it was much higher. Any case, I hope you guys are staying safe, staying healthy, and hope you will have an amazing day and that I'll see you in the next video. Bye!